I still remember the day I brought Nathan home. He shook hands with everyone in the room, except my twin sister, Kayla. She went in for a hug. At the time, I thought nothing of it. I was just glad my family liked him. Especially Mom, who always said, men like him don't come around often. But Kayla? She looked at him like she'd just found a secret. She complimented his cologne, laughed too long at his jokes, and made herself seen. I felt something shift in that room. But I brushed it off. I loved him. We were solid. Kayla was just being Kayla. Or so I believed. It started with laughter, her giggling whenever he texted. "It's just Nathan," she'd say. "He's helping me plan your surprise shower." I believed her. Of course I did. She was my twin. And he was my fiancé. I never imagined they'd give me updates separately, as if keeping me out of my own engagement. Nathan would even call her when I wasn't home. Sometimes late at night. Venue stuff, he claimed. And yet, I always did the actual booking. I had no idea I was funding my own humiliation. I didn't know the same hands that zipped my wedding dress would later cradle my husband's betrayal. 2 weeks before the wedding, I came home early. Kayla and Nathan were on the couch. Her head was on his chest. The TV was on, a movie playing. He jumped. She smiled too fast. "You're home early," she chirped. We were just watching something together. Something in me sank. My stomach turned, but I didn't want to seem paranoid. Kayla had always been close with my partners, but this was different. "We're family," she laughed when I asked about boundaries. Nathan didn't say much. Just avoided my eyes. That night I cried in the bathroom. My gut screamed something was wrong. But love silenced it. She handed me my bouquet. Smiled like nothing was wrong. Like she hadn't been texting my groom for months behind my back. "You're glowing," she said. "He's going to cry when he sees you." I didn't know they'd already shared their vows in secret. My wedding photos? Full of her. She stood by my side, adjusting my veil, making sure my dress flowed. I never noticed the way Nathan glanced at her during the vows. I never realized why Mom pulled me aside earlier that morning, saying, "Some things are better not asked, sweetheart." They weren't just hiding betrayal, they were celebrating it. Nathan's mother, Evelyn, never liked me. She said I was too opinionated and not traditional enough. But she adored Kayla. Always did. I thought she just wanted a daughter like her. Turns out, she wanted her as her actual daughter-in-law. Evelyn helped them lie. She covered their meetings, claiming Nathan was visiting his father. She even helped Kayla pick out a dress for her date, knowing full well it was my husband. On our honeymoon, Evelyn visited Kayla's apartment. I only found out later. I was gone, smiling in photos while the betrayal deepened back home. Evelyn didn't just support them, she encouraged them. The Bahamas were beautiful, but Nathan was distracted. Always on his phone. "Work stuff," he said. I didn't press it. I was too busy trying to enjoy our first week as husband and wife. I had no idea that while I lay beside him, smiling and dreaming of our future, he was texting Kayla. Telling her he missed her. Telling her he wished she were here instead. I would later find screenshots, buried in a hidden folder. "You should have been the one I married," he wrote her, on our honeymoon. My body was in paradise, but my marriage had already gone to hell. I didn't know it yet. But I would soon. 3 weeks after we got back, Evelyn invited us for dinner. "Just the 3 of us," she said. But when I walked in, Kayla was there. Wearing a sundress too short for a family night. Evelyn smiled like nothing was wrong. Nathan's face lit up when he saw Kayla. And suddenly, I was the outsider in my own marriage. At dinner, Evelyn served Kayla first. Laughed at all her jokes. She didn't even ask how our honeymoon was. When I reached for Nathan's hand, he pulled away like it burned. I felt it then, not just their betrayal, but the fact that they wanted me gone. I found it in the glove box. Folded, creased, hidden beneath old receipts. A black and white ultrasound print with Kayla's name across the top. At first I thought it was old. Maybe from a past relationship. But the date, just 3 weeks ago, hit me like a brick. My heart dropped. I stared at the small shape growing inside her. My sister. My husband. A baby. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't cry. Just froze. Nathan was in the shower. I placed the picture on the counter. He came out. Saw it. Didn't flinch. "I'm sorry," he said. "It just happened." I wanted to scream. But instead, I walked out, silent. I confronted her. Drove to her apartment, heart pounding, hands shaking. She opened the door wearing one of Nathan's old college hoodies. "Mine." "I didn't mean for it to happen," she said. "It just did." She wasn't even crying. No shame. Just that smug twin smile that had always gotten her out of everything. "You always had the perfect life," she said. He saw the real me. I slapped her. For the first time in my life, I lost it. She touched her cheek, stunned. "You should thank me," she whispered. "At least he stayed in the family. I left before I did something worse." Evelyn called me the next morning. "You need to move on," she said flatly. "Nathan made his choice. There's no need to drag the family through drama." I laughed, actually laughed. "I'm the wife," I said. "That's my husband. My life." She didn't care. "The baby needs stability. You were always too independent anyway." I realized then, Evelyn never saw me as part of their family. She tolerated me. Barely. But Kayla? She saw her as the daughter-in-law she wanted. And now, she had exactly that. They thought I would break. They thought I would disappear. But they forgot one thing: I don't go down quietly. I moved out without warning. No argument. No tears. Just silence. I packed my things while Nathan was at work. Left my ring on the dresser. I moved into a furnished studio near the city, quiet, small, but mine. Everyone thought I'd beg him to come back. Even Kayla sent a message: "You'll regret leaving." I didn't respond. I just blocked them both. I needed to disappear. Not out of weakness, but for clarity. For planning. You can't burn bridges until you're ready to light the match. And I wasn't just going to light it. I was going to make sure they felt every degree of the heat. Slowly. My name was still on everything: house title, joint accounts, and Nathan's business registry. Big mistake on their part. While they flaunted their affair, I hired a lawyer. One who specialized in high-stakes divorce and asset recovery. "You still have leverage," he said. "But don't go emotional. Go smart." So I listened. I froze our joint funds. Froze the business account too. Nathan's bakery couldn't function without me. It was my credit that built it. Evelyn tried calling me. Even showed up at my office. I told security to escort her out. If they wanted a war, I'd give them one, with lawyers and signatures, not tears. They posted a baby announcement in the family group chat. Kayla beaming, belly visible. Nathan grinning beside her. Caption: "Can't wait to welcome our little one." No shame. No remorse. Just celebration. Everyone responded with hearts and congratulations, except Dad. He messaged me privately: "I had no idea. I'm so sorry, sweetheart." I told him not to apologize for them. They chose their sides. My silence made them think I was broken. But really, I was just patient. They had no idea that every celebration they posted was another receipt added to my evidence folder. One day, I would respond to that group chat, and they'd never forget it. He showed up at my apartment unannounced, wearing guilt like cologne. "We should talk," he said. I let him stand in the hallway. I didn't invite him in. "You froze the business account," he stammered. "We're behind on rent." I raised an eyebrow. "Not my problem." He begged. "Kayla's pregnant. We need that money." I almost laughed. "You didn't need me when you were screwing my sister," I said. He looked stunned. Maybe for the first time, he realized I wasn't the same woman he left. "You'll regret this," he said. "I hope so," I smiled. "Because that means you'll feel it." Evelyn stormed into my lawyer's office. I was already inside, signing paperwork. "You're ruining his life," she screamed. "You're leaving him with nothing." I stood up, calm. "He earned nothing," I said. "And nothing is exactly what he gets." She pointed her finger in my face. "You're bitter." I smiled. "I'm strategic." She didn't understand how much I had done for them. How I helped Nathan open that bakery. How I covered his debts. Now she begged for mercy, not realizing I was the one they should have respected all along. That day, I signed over the business, to myself. His name? Erased. She called from a blocked number. "We're being evicted," she said. "Nathan hasn't been able to work." I let her talk. She cried. Said the baby was coming soon. Said she needed help. "You planned my wedding while you were sleeping with my husband," I replied. "Ask Evelyn for help." Silence. Then a whisper. "She's not speaking to us anymore." I nodded. Betrayal breeds betrayal. "Then figure it out, Kayla." I hung up. And blocked the number again. Her pregnancy wasn't my problem. Her broken dreams weren't mine to fix. She chose this path. She just didn't expect it to be so lonely. Weeks later, a thick envelope arrived. A baby shower invitation, from Evelyn. Gilded letters. Pastel colors. Hosted at her country club. I stared at it for a minute. Then smiled. I RSVP'd. I'll be there. On the day of the event, I wore white. Not to blend in, but to stand out. I walked in confidently, every head turning. Kayla's face went pale. Nathan's jaw tightened. I handed Evelyn a gift bag with a note inside. "You helped build the lie. Now live with it." Inside was a copy of the lawsuit. I was suing them for fraud and emotional damages. Publicly. The courtroom buzzed. Evelyn looked like she aged 10 years. Kayla wouldn't meet my eyes. Nathan kept adjusting his tie. My lawyer laid it all out, how they used my identity, my money, my name, to destroy my life. How they stole what I built and tried to pretend it was theirs. The judge leaned forward. "This isn't just betrayal. It's premeditated manipulation." When the verdict came down, I didn't cry. I didn't smile. I just breathed. The bakery? Mine. Emotional damages? Granted. Public apology? Court mandated. They didn't just lose the case. They lost me. And I was the only thing keeping them afloat. Local news picked up the story. Woman wins lawsuit against husband and sister in explosive betrayal case. My inbox flooded. Messages from strangers. Support. Praise. People who had been betrayed but never got justice. I became a symbol, an unintentional one. Evelyn went silent. Kayla deactivated all her accounts. Nathan's bakery was rebranded. New name. New logo. But the stain remained. People whispered. Customers disappeared. And I kept walking forward. No interviews. No gossip. Just progress. They built their empire on lies. I rebuilt mine on truth. And truth always outlives the noise. Months passed. Then one day, a letter appeared. Handwritten. From Kayla. I'm sorry, it read. I didn't think it would end this way. I thought he'd leave you eventually. I didn't think you'd fight back. I miss you. I burned it. No ceremony. No emotion. Just ashes in a dish. Some things don't deserve a response. Forgiveness may come one day, but not today. Not for the sister who wore my shoes while stabbing my back. Not for the man who broke vows while holding my hand. Not for the mother-in-law who lit the match. I was done. And I was finally free. I moved across the country. Bought a new house. Started a nonprofit for women in recovery from betrayal and domestic abuse. I found peace in helping others rise. My story wasn't just pain anymore, it had purpose. People called me brave. But bravery isn't loud. It's waking up every day and choosing not to break. I met someone new. Slowly. Carefully. And he never once asked about my past. Just listened when I was ready. I didn't rush. I didn't need saving. I had already saved myself. And that's how I knew this time, I was truly home. Evelyn's name came up in a board review. Turns out, she had mishandled funds from a local charity she chaired. An investigation opened. Her reputation, what little remained, crumbled. The press showed up at her door. She denied everything. But the paper trail didn't. It was poetic. The woman who tried to ruin me with backdoor lies now found herself exposed under public light. Karma, served cold. I didn't even need to raise a finger. The truth has a way of finding its way out, when the time is right. And for Evelyn, that time had come. She raised the baby by herself. Nathan left months after the judgment. Word was, he'd moved to Denver. Started fresh. Kayla posted one photo. No captions. Just a tired smile, holding her child. No Nathan in sight. No Evelyn either. I stared at the photo for a moment. It didn't give me pleasure. Just closure. She had everything she schemed for. And still ended up alone. Actions have echoes. And hers echoed louder than she expected. Some lessons arrive through love. Others through loss. She chose her path. And walked it barefoot. I stood outside the bakery one last time. My name was on the sign now. New staff. New recipes. People came for the food. But stayed because it stood for something. Resilience. Ownership. Integrity. I walked in, greeted them with a smile, and sat in my office. I didn't feel angry anymore. I felt complete. They broke my heart, but not my spirit. And when you rebuild yourself, brick by brick, no one can tear you down again. I wasn't someone's wife. Or sister. Or victim. I was me. Fully. Finally. Unapologetically. They never expected me to rise. They expected silence. Tears. Defeat. But I chose something else. Power. Grace. Patience. They taught me who not to be. And I'm thankful for that. Now when I tell my story, I don't flinch. I don't cry. I say it with pride. Because I turned pain into fuel. Betrayal into foundation. And loss into purpose. This wasn't just revenge. This was rebirth. And the woman who walked through fire? She doesn't burn anymore. She shines.